3 hidden forces inside your head that are waging war right now. Have you ever caught yourself in a rather strange inner dialogue? One part of you desperately wants to drop absolutely everything, binge on junk food, spend all your hard-earned savings on entertainment, or simply give in to a passing urge. The second part immediately switches on a ruthless prosecutor and starts tearing into you. You're a lazy nobody, you've got no willpower, normal people graft, and you're thinking about stupid things. You ought to be ashamed. And the third part is you yourself, worn out, exhausted, trying somehow to come to an agreement with both halves of your brain just to make it through to the evening and not lose your mind. Psychology will tell you it's just different facets of your personality or a lack of motivation. But let's take off the rose-tinted glasses. Sigmund Freud proved that there is no unity inside your head. Your psyche is a relentless battlefield where a war of annihilation is waged around the clock. 3 powerful, deeply hidden forces. And until you understand how this anatomy of mental hell is properly your stroina, you will never truly be able to control your life. Today, we will carefully dissect these 3 forces in detail and find out who is really holding power inside your head right now. The first force, your raw animal nature, the id. The first and most ancient force within your psyche is the id. It is a vast seething ocean of primal instincts, deeply hidden animal desires, raw aggression, and completely unfiltered sexual energy. It genuinely does not give a damn about laws, moral standards, basic decency, or even your neighbor's opinions. This force follows only a single law, the pleasure principle. It behaves like a rather capricious, utterly uncontrollable baby who screams, "I want it right this instant. I want to go to sleep. I want that woman. I want to hit this person. I want to quit my job and have fun." All the basic life energy, all your drive, agony, and passion are right here. However, if you submit to this force entirely, you will turn into a destructive animal that will very quickly end up behind bars or pushed to the margins of life. The problem is that it is simply impossible to destroy it or silence it. The more intensely you attempt to persuade yourself that you do not possess these dark, primal impulses within you, the more this cauldron continues to boil away deep inside your subconscious, ready at any moment to erupt into a panic attack or a nervous breakdown. Reason 2. Your inner executioner, the superego. On the opposite side of the barricade stands the second force, the superego. It is your inner warden, judge, and prosecutor all in one. This force is formed in childhood from parents' prohibitions, society's rules, religious dogmas, and moral norms. If it shouts, "I want," the superego responds in an icy voice, "You cannot." This force relentlessly demands perfection from you. It is precisely the superego that weighs you down with a searing sense of shame when you have merely thought about something forbidden. It gnaws at you for every single mistake, causing you to suffer from a perfectionist syndrome. It burns you from the inside, with guilt for having rested an extra hour or for not living up to other people's expectations. The superego is cruel and despotic. If this force takes total power in your head, your life turns into a concentration camp. You become a dry, tense neurotic, afraid even to breathe without permission, locked up in the cage of endless must and ought. Mask 3, your completely exhausted ego. And in the middle, between this hammer and the anvil, there is a third force. Yourself, or ego, is your consciousness, your mind, that part of your personality that you consider to be you. And yourself finds itself in the most tragic position you can possibly imagine. Freud wrote that the ego is a deeply unfortunate servant, compelled to obey 3 harsh tyrants all at once: the wild, furious demands of the animal id, the despotic orders of the prosecutor-like superego, and the harsh reality of the outside world. Your main task is to keep the balance every day. Your ego tries to find a compromise. For example, when it is shouting, "I want sex right now," and the superego slaps your hands away. No, you can't. It's shameful. Your rational self looks for a lawful, socially acceptable way to satisfy the instinct. It builds relationships, throws itself into sport or creativity. If your self is weak, the balance collapses and the psyche is repainted either towards the bestial behavior of the id or towards the suffocating neurosis and depression of the superego. In conclusion, I want to say that most people lose the war for their own life simply because they do not truly understand who is actually in control of them. They think they make decisions themselves, but in reality their mind is merely a puppet in the hands of 2 relentlessly warring tyrants. Stop being a passive spectator in your own head. Start strictly monitoring your inner impulses when a wild desire starts boiling up inside you, or, on the contrary, when unreasonable guilt is suffocating you. Pause and realize, it isn't truly you. It's your id shouting out, or your superego pressing down on you. Strengthen your conscious ego. Become a strong arbiter on this battlefield. Take real power into your own hands, and take full control of the world and yourself. Thank you for watching until the end. Speak to you soon.